leaving Bangkok again. I'm heading now to a city called Kanchanaburi. It's a historical city, something to do with a bridge. Anyway, I'm on my third class train, and this is going to take me about 2.5 hours. All being well. Wow, look at these places. Here we are then, in the city of Kanchanaburi. My hostel is literally 4 minutes walk from the train station, so that's pretty cool. So first impressions then. Come out of the train station, nice little street market here, selling food. I might come back here later on for some scrap. So this must be the actual night market then. I thought it was just a few stalls set up outside the station, but yeah, it's pretty big. And there's some street art over there that says Kanchanaburi Plaza. On the left we see this old train. I'm going to find out quite a lot about trains and railways whilst we're here. That's what the city is most famous for, I would have thought. The Death Railway. All checked into the hostel, everything seems fine. It's a perfect location. Seeing insects and intestines. Nice sunglasses for 50 baht. This is the food part. It's all kind of fried stuff. Nothing really seems that interesting. What we got here? Well, there's a lot more food places now, and it's pretty cheap to be honest. I've seen like meals for 20 baht, 50 pence. It's as cheap as I've seen it anywhere. There's some interesting stuff, and I've gone for pretty predictable choice to be honest. Just a big chunk of chicken, 70 baht. Looks really nice though. Wow, that's absolutely delicious. It's kind of like a spare rib type flavour. Barbecue chicken, wonderful. Here we have the benefits of the various smoothies on offer. So this one is for nurturing pregnancy. We've got eye care, reducing pressure, reducing stress, blood nourishment, and then we've got a baby face. I'm just going for the typical passion fruit ice smoothie, my favourite. Because a lot of people visit Kanchanaburi for the history, there are a lot of guest houses in the city. It's only a small city, I think about 35,000 people live here, but it does get a lot of tourists, and because of that, there's also a bar street, and we're just about to come onto that now. Just to my right, I do believe. The last time I was here, I stayed on a guest house just down there to the left, which was basically bang on the River Khwae. A lot of dogs about. Got to be careful with them buggers. Now this is the bar street, but it looks very quiet. I mean, it is early, so maybe it'll get busy later. Look at this little fella. Always worried about the little Chihuahua dogs. Always think they're a bit snappy, a bit bitey. And that one's tail was going mad. Get drunk for 10 baht. I think there'll be a catch in there. It was get drunk for 10 baht 4 years ago. What has changed is all the bars have now got the marijuana leaves in them. Over there we have a happy hour, 10 baht per drink. Thai vodka, whiskey and rum, 5 till midnight. I seem to remember last time we came up here, one of the busiest bars was further up. I don't know if it's a like Australian expat bar. Oh, this is definitely an Aussie bar, Aussie rules bar. It's getting a little bit more busy up here now. What I don't want is to go into a bar and then have some Thai woman sitting next to me and, you know, offering all kinds of services. I just want to sit and chill out. I'm not going in this bar with the bloody Macarena playing. They do craft beer, Thai craft beer in here. It's quite expensive though. Pizza restaurant. Been having pizza cravings for a while. What's it look like? Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Well, I thought I'd try this place out. The Get Drunk for 10 baht. I bought a bottle of Leo, which was 90. So yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's a big Leo. It's cheaper than what I've been paying in Bangkok. Nice bit of people watching, bottle watching. Welcome to Kanchanaburi. Got a little friend here. Not interested in me though. Is he gonna hop on?
When she walking into the crowd, with his second smile, it's running around.
In 1941, Japan entered World War II. They quickly controlled much of Southeast Asia, and in 1942 they began an ambitious project, a single rail line that would connect Thailand, or Siam as it was known then, to Myanmar, or Burma as it was known then. Initially the workers were Southeast Asian. It was a relatively well-paid job, so people travelled to Kanchanaburi for work. The conditions were horrific, and eventually the Japanese started using prisoners of war. Once construction had completed, it had taken the lives of 100,000 civilians and 15,000 prisoners of war, 7,000 of which are in this cemetery. These are graves of people from the Commonwealth and Dutch prisoners of war. This cemetery is actually on the site of one of the old prisons that many of the prisoners of war would be sent to before being sent to other camps along the railway. Ah, bloody hell. Cambridge, Manchester, Suffolk. Behind a smile, there's many a tear for a husband I lost and loved most dear. Like autumn leaves, the years go by, but in our hearts you will never die. Australia here. See the ages here, 27, 35, 31, 31. Oh, very, very young man. The story of the prisoners of war that died on the construction of the rail line was fictionalized in the movie The Bridge Over the River Khwae, and the bridge itself still stands, and we'll be going to take a look at that very shortly. The people who died whilst constructing the death rail trek died from malnutrition, disease, and just pure neglect and mistreatment. My knowledge of what actually took place here in the Second World War is very limited. That will change now, because right opposite the centre we have the Death Railway Museum. See here, the Thailand Burma Railway Centre. Unfortunately I wasn't allowed to film inside the museum, but if you do come to Kanchanaburi you really must check it out. It's a fantastic museum, and some of the information there will just have you just gasping in disbelief, some of the numbers involved. This cemetery, I found out, is actually contains the ashes of all the people that were found in the cemeteries along the route. So there were 144 cemeteries, and it was decided that it would be impossible to maintain 144 small cemeteries, so all the remains were all brought here into this big cemetery. Here we are then at the second war museum of the day. This is the Jeeth War Museum, and Jeeth is an acronym which represents the 5 nations that were involved in the construction of the Death Railway. So you've got Japan, England, Australia, America, Thailand and Holland. During World War II, the Japanese used this train for the transportation of ammunitions to expand the fight into India and Burma. Although it is primarily a war museum, there's lots of other stuff as well, some quite random stuff. And there's no real kind of route to take, so over here it says, well, it says start here. Downstairs first, thank you. Downstairs first, the wooden bridge. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Like this. This is all about the first man on Earth. And it's just bizarre, because all this information here has been covered up halfway through by this. This has nothing to do with the war. While we're here, we might as well go and have a look at the River Khwae. And there's the bridge. The infamous bridge. And just over there is the prisoner of war camp, which I do believe is now a food market, which is a bit strange. What I didn't know was that there are actually two bridges over the River Kwai. This is the first one, the wooden one. You can see this museum's a bit run down. Look at the cobwebs on that guy. And the signs, you can barely read them anymore. So pans for cooking rice to the prisoners of war. I did read that the food became so bad that the rice was kind of mixed with all kinds of things, and they would get something like 5 grams of meat per day, and the meat itself would often arrive and it would be rotten and there would be maggots in it, and so the Japanese guards would just throw it away, actually bury it, and then the prisoners would dig it up and just use it, and they would make stews out of it. The maggots would come to the top and they just skim off the maggots. This is a hospital room. None of the doctors had any equipment or medicine. The only thing that they would have would be what the prisoners themselves would bring with them. And so they would have to use the materials that were available to them. So they would use bamboo thorns as needles. Prisoners were told that once they reached the railway and to begin work, they would not have to go on any long marches. But this was completely not true, and in fact some prisoners on arrival would be told that they needed to walk 300 kilometres, and all the walks went on at night, and they would have to carry all their belongings with them and materials. We've got a dog here. Is he alive? Yep, he's breathing. Found a nice place in the shade there. Oh, I'll walk him up. Hello. Hello, Sleepy. Hello. 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 You friendly boy, yeah? You friendly? You look like you're friendly, don't you? You look like you want your belly rubbing, don't you? I can't get to you. Can't get to you, boy. Can't get to you, look. What's this? What's this? This boat was used to carry malaria-stricken prisoners of war to the field hospital. The actual boat. There's been some suffering in there. This museum costs 50 baht to enter. The last one was 150, so this is much cheaper. And just so the 50 baht goes to the maintenance of the place. To be honest, this place hasn't been maintained for a long time. It's really run down. But that kind of adds to its charm, to be honest. Well, it might be run down, this museum, but it does probably offer the best view you're going to get of the bridge from afar. These are the old princes and princesses of Thailand. I think this whole building is like a visual history of the kingdom of Siam and Thailand. It's a strange old place, this. Like half of it's nothing to do with the war at all. It's just like a kind of mixture of various museums, small museums. It's definitely been here for a long time because it's quite up and down, as you can see. Oh, here we have the Buddhas for each day of the week. Sunday, Monday, and then it goes round to the other side. You could just get lost exploring this place. There are what used to be arrows. I mean, look at this. That used to be an arrow. Needs a bit of love, this museum. Alright, it goes up again. Is there anything on this floor? Yes, there is. So here we just have a random magazine collection. What is this place? I mean, it says ancient collection by owner. That doesn't look that ancient to me. Golden boys. Interesting. This is that maintenance that they're charging you for. I'm not being critical when I'm kind of just making a joke about how run down this place is. You know, it's obviously not got the funds to make it all kind of nice and new and modern and cleaned up, but it just adds to its charm. It's just, wow, look at this. I'm just, oh God. Just, what's going on up here? Well, this is the viewpoint then. The River Khwae and the bridge over the River Khwae. Do not like this one bit. Trip over that and then end up bloody falling over there. It's like a maze. Look at it, it just goes on and on. Let's see what some of these things actually say. The worldly aspect of Sukhothai development is exemplified by Pitulathi Patai, or a father and child way of governing. The king was very close to his people. He listened to them, kept away their misery and gave them justice. So yeah, it's the history of Thailand, pretty much. The various capital cities in the kingdoms. All floors are equipped with closed-circuit TV and thieves will be prosecuted. And then, just to make that point again, warning, thieves will be prosecuted. What can you actually steal from this place? There's nothing to steal. Well, I was carrying on going down the stairs and then it was suddenly blocked off. I wasn't allowed to go downstairs anymore, so I'm hoping that this will lead me back down to the ground floor. Oh yeah. How do I get out? There's no way out of this place. Just some random shoes. Look at the size of them buggers. So in the centre of this museum area we have this like kind of pagoda. Didn't realise you could go inside. Got a huge drum here and look at the size of the bloody bell. Doesn't look like you can go into this part. It's the only part I've not been in yet. Unless there's a entrance somewhere over here. Oh wow. Albert Einstein. Harry S. Truman. Douglas MacArthur. Stalin. Bloody hell. So according to this here, it says that Stalin worked with Lenin with excellent results. Churchill. Got to have Hitler, haven't we? Hitler's got to be here somewhere. Oh, here he is. Oh, this is pretty grim. This glass coffin contains the remains of 106 of the prisoners who worked on the death railway. I suppose the logical next thing to do from here is to head to the bridge of the River Khwae. Here we are then, on the bridge over the River Khwae. Don't think it's meant for bikes. It's not the easiest thing to cross when you're trying to steer a bike as well. Hopefully a train doesn't come. I've got to cross the bridge, which wasn't easy, but I'm not going to complain too much, considering how tough people had it who built the thing. And yeah, so I've come to this temple. I'm not exactly sure what these are. Like avocados or something. It's very colourful. This is probably the best shot of the bridge over the River Kwai because the sun's behind me now. And this is the Chinese soldier monument. Over here we have this gallery of Chinese soldiers, I guess, or Chinese influence and presence in Thailand. Over here I've just spotted we have a Chinese Thai food sign, and it goes right back to wartime. That's a pretty cool monument, to be fair. This market used to be a prisoner of war camp. How bizarre. On the site of an old prisoner of war camp, the prisoners of war would be staying here as they were building the bridge over the River Kwai. And now it's entertainment. Look at this. The prisoner of war camp stage. Bloody hell. About 30 minutes from here there's another cemetery, and I think along the way there's also a cave. So I'm hoping it's going to be a flat journey. I think it's going to take me about half an hour. So yeah, next stop, a cave. I just come up to this guy, and as soon as I pulled up he was just like stayed still watching me. And then as soon as I lifted my phone up to him, he just buggered off. About halfway there, I think. I just stopped to have a look at the view of Kanchanaburi. Bit spoilt by that, but... So I've just stopped off at this little roadside drinks booth, and they do all the sodas. Blue Hawaii, that's the one I've had. And I've had a look at the bottle close up now, and it's by a company called Ding Fong. They do all kinds of flavours. Wonderful stuff. Right, made it to the temple then. And the special thing about this temple is it's in a cave. I'm presuming that this is the entrance. Now it looks like it's going to be well lit and stairs, which is good. It also looks like there's a lot of mozzies down here. It smells a little bit like piss. Oh wow. Check this out. I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting, but this has already topped it, I think. They're not exactly sure when this cave or this temple was opened. The earliest written history has it in the mid-19th century, around about 1857. But it could have been around longer than that. Bloody hell. Goes right down. Yai room. It's a bloody tight fit in here. Well, I guess this is the main room. It's the biggest room I've been in, and that's the way out up there. But they're all little side rooms. In fact, I don't know about going in there because I've just seen bats flying in and out. No, I'm definitely not going in there. But look at this. Now, the first question that comes to my mind is how the hell did they get that in here? Right, so here we are then at the second war cemetery. Didn't know about this one until recently. Let's find out who this cemetery is for, who's buried here. This is, like the other one, filled with graves of people from the Commonwealth and Dutch victims as well. This place here used to be one of the camps, used to be one of the main camps on the route. This one was so big it actually had a hospital and a theatre. I've got to say, the Jeeth Museum has obviously seen better days, but these two cemeteries that I visited are both immaculate. They're really well looked after. My last stop of today is the Kanchanaburi Skywalk, which has only been here for about a year, I think, even if that's the newest thing in the city. So here we are, let's have a look. And here we are then. Bloody hell. Which way shall I go first? Which way is quietest? Let's try this one first. Now this is an area of Kanchanaburi that I've not actually been to, and this street here in a couple of hours time becomes a walking street, so I would imagine there'll be lots of street food and market stalls. All the traffic will disappear. Lots of restaurants on here, so I might hang out here for a while. I've got the bike, so really like Kanchanaburi. It's a really cool place. Obviously it's got the history, but it's beautiful. Now I hope this is not one of them crazy ones where suddenly the glass starts cracking. I've seen them on YouTube where they're like video screens and the glass starts cracking between your feet and everyone starts panicking. I don't think it's going to be one of them. The people of Kanchanaburi are not that kind of people. Well, I've got the time that wrong really, because it's like nearly 5 o'clock, and if I'd have waited another hour I could have gone up there and watched the sunset. Because that's where it's going to happen. I guess that's what they built it here for. And that's me done in Kanchanaburi. I had a great 3 days here. It's a fascinating place, some amazing history, but the actual city itself is pretty cool as well. Some nice bars, friendly people, and a wonderful night market. What more can you want? Now, back to the train station, and only bloody back to Bangkok. Bloody hell.